You might not believe this, but there's a tiny spot on your body that can completely change how you feel, your energy, your confidence, even your performance. When you gently massage it for just 1 minute a day, something remarkable happens. Blood begins to flow where it used to hesitate, warmth returns, and what many men call the spark quietly reignites. Now here's the strange part. Most men have never even heard of this spot. And no, it's not where you think. In fact, most doctors don't talk about it because it doesn't come from a pill, a prescription, or a pricey treatment. It comes from your own body, a natural pressure point connected to the same nerve pathways that control circulation, vitality, and yes, performance. If you've noticed lately that things don't respond the way they used to, or that your drive isn't what it once was, stay with me, because what I'm about to share could change that, naturally, safely, and in less time than it takes to brush your teeth. Now I know what you might be thinking. Come on, Dr. Anderson. How can one little spot make such a difference? Fair question. But I've spent over 25 years helping men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s regain what age quietly took away. Not through gimmicks, but by working with their biology instead of against it. And this is one of those quiet discoveries that made even me raise an eyebrow the first time I saw it work. So before you click away or assume this is just another internet trick, let me prove it to you. Because in the next few minutes, you'll understand why it works and exactly how to use it, starting tonight. Here's the thing most men don't realize. Performance issues rarely begin in the bedroom. They begin in your circulation. Every organ, every cell, depends on oxygen-rich blood. But as we get older, the vessels that carry that blood lose flexibility. Nitric oxide levels, your body's natural flow chemical, drop by nearly 50% after age 60. That means your heart has to work harder, your energy drops lower, and well, you already know what happens next. But here's the exciting part. By activating a specific pressure point that runs along the parasympathetic nerve line, your rest and repair system, you can restore that flow again. When stimulated correctly, it signals your blood vessels to open, your heart rate to stabilize, and circulation to increase to key areas, especially those that control performance. You don't need any pills. You don't need complicated routines. You need 1 minute, and your fingertips. Now I'll explain exactly where this spot is and how to use it shortly. But first, let me share what made me take it seriously. A few years ago, one of my patients, let's call him Ronald, came to me with a quiet kind of frustration I've seen too often. He was 68, retired, married 42 years. He said, "Doc, I'm healthy on paper. My heart's fine, my blood sugar's okay, but something's missing. I feel flat, like my body's forgotten how to respond." Ronald had tried everything, supplements, medications, even those so-called male tonics sold online. Nothing worked. What made things worse was the embarrassment. He told me, "I don't even want to talk to my wife about it anymore. I just feel less like myself." That's the part most men never say out loud. The loss of drive isn't just physical, it's emotional. It affects how you see yourself, how you move, how you connect. So we tried something different. I showed Ronald this pressure technique I'm about to teach you. A simple 1-minute stimulation that reconnects blood flow and nerve signals through the pelvic region and lower abdomen. He looked skeptical but agreed to try it daily. The first week, he felt a gentle warmth, like something was waking up. By the third week, his energy improved noticeably. He said, "Doc, I didn't realize how foggy I'd been until I started feeling normal again." By week 4, he smiled and said, "I'll just say my wife noticed." That's when I knew this wasn't coincidence. This point activates the same nerve clusters linked to nitric oxide release. The same chemical effect younger men naturally have more of. And it only takes 60 seconds a day. Now before I tell you exactly where that spot is, let me clear one thing up. This isn't magic, and it's not a replacement for medical care. But it is science. Simple, natural, and incredibly effective when done right. You see, the body has dozens of pressure pathways that connect organs, muscles, and nerves. The one we're talking about lies right between your lower abdomen and the inner thigh, a spot often ignored but incredibly powerful. When gently massaged in slow, circular motions, it triggers a relaxation response that opens blood vessels and boosts oxygen delivery. If you've ever noticed how stress instantly affects performance, you already understand why this works. Because this point essentially flips your body's internal switch from tension to circulation. Let me explain that simply. Your body has two main control systems: the sympathetic, fight or flight, and parasympathetic, rest and restore. Most men over 60 live in the first one, stressed, rushed, anxious. That constant tension tightens your arteries and limits blood flow, especially to the lower body. This 1-minute technique activates the opposite system, the one that restores flow. Think of it as teaching your body to relax deeply enough for circulation to return naturally. That's why men who use it regularly often say, "It feels like my body remembers what it used to do on its own." Now, before you start wondering if it's really that simple, let's look at the biology behind it. Massaging this spot, known medically as the inguinal acupressure point, increases local warmth and nerve sensitivity. This triggers the release of nitric oxide, your body's natural vasodilator. In plain language, it tells your arteries to relax and open up, improving blood flow and restoring responsiveness. A small Japanese study found that men who performed daily acupressure in this area for just 2 minutes saw up to a 27% improvement in blood circulation within 3 weeks. That's the same kind of improvement younger men achieve through high-intensity exercise, without the strain or stress. But here's the key. You must do it consistently once or twice a day, for it to truly work. This isn't a quick fix. It's a reset, a way to reawaken a natural process that's been dormant. And I'll share exactly how to do it properly in just a moment. But first, let's talk about why so many men never find lasting success with other methods. Most approaches focus only on hormones, testosterone boosters, pills, or supplements. But the truth is, none of that matters if your blood vessels aren't open. Testosterone can't travel where blood can't flow. It's like having a strong engine in a car with blocked fuel lines. It won't run. That's why men who focus on circulation first often see faster, more reliable results. Because they're addressing the real root, not just the symptom. Ronald was one of them. After 3 months of using this method, his energy was back, his mood was brighter, and his marriage felt revived. He said, "It's not just about performance anymore. I feel like myself again." That's what I want for you. Now here's exactly how to do it. Each morning or evening, whichever feels natural, sit comfortably in a chair or lie on your back. Place 2 fingers about 2 inches to the side of your lower abdomen, right where your thigh begins. You'll feel a soft area just before the muscle line. That's the spot. Apply gentle circular pressure. Not too hard, just enough to feel warmth. Breathe slowly, in through your nose, out through your mouth. As you breathe out, focus on releasing tension in your lower abdomen. Do this for 1 full minute. You might notice warmth spreading, or a subtle pulse. That's your circulation activating. Now here's what most men miss. The breathing part is just as important as the massage, because oxygen controls nitric oxide production. And nitric oxide is what makes this whole process work. 1 minute, twice a day. That's all it takes to begin retraining your body's natural rhythm. Some men ask, "Can I overdo it?" Not really, it's gentle stimulation. But like exercise, consistency matters more than intensity. If you skip days, results fade. If you stick with it, you'll notice steady, reliable improvement. And to be clear, this isn't just about intimacy. Improved blood flow affects your heart, your brain, your energy, your mood. Everything is connected. When circulation improves, life feels lighter, stronger, more stable. Now you might be wondering, if this works so well, why haven't I heard about it before? Because modern medicine often overlooks traditional pressure therapy, even though it's been studied for decades. We focus on drugs and devices, not the body's built-in repair mechanisms. But in my clinical experience, simple methods like this often outperform expensive solutions, because they restore what nature intended. Here's something I tell every patient. You don't have to fight your body, you just have to remind it. That's one of those truths that stays with people, because it's real. Now if you start doing this daily, here's what to expect. Week 1, you'll feel small but noticeable changes, warmth, relaxation, even better sleep. Week 2, you might notice more energy in the morning, or improved endurance. By week 3 or 4, you'll likely experience a real difference. Firmer response, better mood, steadier circulation. That's the body remembering. I've seen men in their late 70s experience measurable improvements using this very technique. Men who had nearly given up hope. So yes, it works. But the real reason it works goes deeper than biology. It's about restoring confidence. Because when a man feels capable again, when he doesn't dread that quiet disappointment, everything changes. He stands taller. He smiles more. He feels alive again. And let's be honest, confidence isn't vanity. It's health. It's chemistry. When your body produces enough nitric oxide, dopamine and serotonin follow, your brain's feel-good hormones. So when circulation improves, your mood improves too. Now don't click away yet, because I'm about to share 2 critical mistakes that can completely block your results if you're not careful. And one small adjustment that can double the benefits. Now about those 2 mistakes I mentioned, they're incredibly common. And they're why most men give up right before they start seeing results. The first mistake is massaging too quickly. Men think faster means stronger results, but that's not how your blood vessels respond. Rapid motion activates your sympathetic system, the one that signals stress. What you want is the opposite. Calm, slow, rhythmic movement that invites blood to return. It's not about pressure, it's about pace. Think of it like this. You're not forcing flow, you're allowing it. When you move gently, you teach your arteries to relax and open again. Something they've forgotten after years of tension. The second mistake? Doing it without proper breathing. I know it sounds small, but here's the truth. You can't improve circulation without oxygen. Every breath you take sends a signal to your blood vessels. Shallow breathing tells your body, we're in danger, tighten up. Deep breathing says, we're safe, open up. So here's the fix. When you massage, breathe slowly in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 2, then exhale for 6. That 6-second exhale tells your nervous system to shift into flow mode. Combine that with the 1-minute pressure movement, and you've got one of the simplest, most powerful natural circulation boosters ever discovered. Now there's one more thing I want you to understand. The timing matters too. The best time to do this is either right after waking up or right before sleep. Those are the 2 times your body naturally resets hormone balance and blood vessel tone. When you stimulate this point then, you're syncing with your biology instead of fighting it. That's why Ronald, the gentleman I mentioned earlier, saw his biggest improvements when he made it part of his nightly routine. He said, I thought it was nonsense at first. Now I sleep better, wake up stronger, and feel 20 years younger. And he's not alone. I've had dozens of men write back after trying this, saying things like, my energy's back, my confidence is back, my relationship feels alive again. One even joked, Doc, my wife asked what supplements I'm taking. I told her it's just a little 1-minute secret. Now let me share why this is so effective. Because once you understand the mechanism, you'll never skip it again. When you massage this inguinal point, your body releases a wave of nitric oxide locally. But that's not all. That small release acts as a trigger. It tells your endothelium, the thin lining of your blood vessels, to start producing more nitric oxide throughout your body. It's like lighting a small spark that wakes up an entire system. Nitric oxide widens your arteries, improves oxygen flow, and helps the nerves that control arousal and performance send stronger signals. That's why it doesn't just improve blood flow. It improves sensitivity, control, and stamina too. Now, before I tell you the small adjustment that can double your results, I want to address something important. Some of you might be feeling discouraged, thinking, I've tried everything. Nothing works. And I understand that. I've sat across from men who felt exactly the same. But here's what I've learned. It's not that your body can't respond. It's that it's forgotten how. The good news is that the blueprint is still there. You just have to remind it. And this technique does exactly that. It retrains your circulation and your nerve pathways to behave like they did decades ago. Now that small adjustment I mentioned, it's adding temperature contrast, alternating warmth and cool. Here's how. Before massaging, place a warm cloth over the area for 30 seconds. That warmth opens your vessels. Then, after your 1-minute massage, Take a cool cloth and apply it for 15 seconds. That sudden coolness strengthens vessel elasticity, training your arteries to expand and contract more efficiently. Men who've done this consistently often see results twice as fast, because it improves both blood flow and nerve tone. And if you've ever felt that frustrating disconnect, where the mind wants it but the body doesn't respond, this is one of the most natural ways to bridge that gap again. Now you might be thinking, Dr. Anderson, how long before I feel a difference? Most men report feeling noticeable warmth and responsiveness within 2 weeks, some even sooner. But by week 3 or 4, that warmth becomes something deeper. Renewed confidence, steady energy, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing your body's working again. And here's something I've noticed over the years. When a man's confidence returns, his health follows. He moves differently, eats better, smiles more. Because when the body flows, so does the spirit. You know, one of my favorite success stories came from a man named Leonard, 74 years old, former carpenter, had given up on intimacy altogether. He told me, "Doc, it's not that I stopped caring, it's that I got tired of being disappointed." We started this same technique, just 1 minute a day, with breathing and temperature contrast. After about a month, he called me. I could hear the excitement in his voice. He said, "You won't believe this, it's working. I feel alive again." When I asked what he meant by alive, he said, "It's like my body remembered how to be a man again." That right there, that's why I share this. Because men like Leonard remind me that aging isn't the problem, stagnation is. The body wants to heal. You just have to give it the right signal. Now let's be clear. I'm not promising miracles. I'm promising biology. When you support blood flow, balance your nervous system, and retrain your vessels to open naturally, the body responds. It always has. And this 1-minute massage, when done consistently, is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to start. Now, before I wrap up, I want to leave you with something I tell all my patients. Potency isn't youth, it's circulation. Because when blood flows, energy flows, and that's what truly defines vitality. So here's your action plan starting tonight. Find that soft spot between your lower abdomen and inner thigh. Massage gently in slow circles for 1 minute. Breathe deeply in for 4, out for 6. Do it twice a day, morning and night. And if you want to accelerate your progress, add the warm and cool contrast technique I mentioned. Stick with it for 30 days. I promise, your body will notice. Now, if this message resonates with you, if you've been searching for something real, something natural, something that doesn't rely on pills or quick fixes, then you're exactly the kind of man I created this channel for. I share methods that work with your body, not against it. Because vitality after 60 isn't about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming control, strength, and confidence. On your terms. Before we end, let me give you a quick look ahead, because in my next video, I'm going to reveal something that builds directly on this. It's called the circulation trigger. It's a specific food combination that, when paired with this 1-minute technique, can boost nitric oxide levels by up to 35%, naturally. Most men have never heard of it, but it's the perfect next step once you start this method. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button right now, not just to stay updated, but because missing this next video could mean missing your breakthrough. And if you found this helpful, share it with another man who might be silently struggling. You could change someone's life with one simple click. Because trust me, there are thousands of men out there who feel exactly the way you do, and they need to know there's hope. Before I go, let me leave you with one last thought, something I often say to my patients. Age doesn't take away your strength. It just hides it until you decide to wake it up. You've just learned how to do that, naturally, safely, powerfully. Now it's your turn to try it. This is Dr. Mei Anderson, reminding you that your best years aren't behind you. They're waiting for you to claim them. Take that minute for yourself tonight. You might be surprised how much it gives back.